Motion from the floor.
Now, where do you want it, where do you want it at?
Why don't we put that,
It shouldn't be under consent items.
You want to put
We
it,
can
change
put it-
the numbers?
Yeah, I would make it 320.10A. Okay, I make a motion to add resolution 320.10A. Basically, a resolution approving the inspection for the Rotterdam Ambulance Service District scheduled for December 14th.
That's what you make me.
Yep, we need a second.
I'd like to make an amendment to that one, so what do we do first? I have questions on this.
Yeah, we haven't seconded it, so I believe, Mr. McCarty, I believe we can still change it, because nobody seconded it.
we can, as I understand the motion right now is simply to add it to the agenda,
Okay?
and we can pass that motion, and then we can make a motion to have it passed, and at that time, Mr. Levitt can add
Okay,
her changes. as
but
she likes.
we can condition the motion, all right? Make the changes now, all right, and do it instead of creating another motion and just.
You can
kill
do it, you can.
But I'm just saying, that's the quickest way. Do we have to go second, first, you know what I mean? So right now, I can withdraw my motion. How's that?
That's good.
I will withdraw my motion, and I yield the floor to Councilmember Deleva.
Here's a list from both of our election commissioners. There's 126 residents of Rotterdam that are certified election board inspectors for any election. We have an election coming up on Tuesday that we never did before. It has to be an honest and open, and we have to have the best people serving it. Nothing against this list of people, but out of these 19 people, only seven of them are certified. Both commissioners stated that all the inspectors on this list have been certified, have taken their courses numerous times, and are very well informed of the election law and running an election, and not a vote. And this is a recommendation for a vote. So I would like to say that anybody that we have as a poll worker comes off this list. We have to approve this tonight. So I make a motion to approve all 126 of these people, so we can find 20 of them that will be able to work on Tuesday. So it would give us an open door.
So essentially what you want to do is you
Yes.
want to use the BOE list in lieu of the one that we created.
Absolutely, because who knows better about the inspectors than both of our inspectors from the Board of Elections.
Mr. McCarty, you don't see an issue?
I don't find any problem with that. We are holding a training session Monday morning at 10 o'clock for the poll workers, in that this is a unique election, in that under normal circumstances, the Board of Elections provides the poll workers with a list of registered voters and an actual signature card, if I'm not mistaken, and the books that the Board of Election maintains. And the task for the poll worker is, under normal circumstances, very simplified, in that when the member of the electorate comes in, they simply give their name, the poll worker looks on the book, they pull it out to the page where that person's name is, the person signs their name, they look at the signature that is on record, they look at the signature of the person that is present before them, everything matches up, they're given a ballot. Our procedure is a little more complex, in that the poll worker will be equipped, the table, we designed this situation where we're going to have tables for every 5 letters of the alphabet. So there are going to be 5 tables, and each table will have a set of roll books, 2 roll books, that were obtained through the assessor's office, through the company that provides those books to us. And the poll worker will have to go through an what the training will be. They will have to go through a little scenario of taking the person's name and checking them against the books to make sure that they are indeed property owners, because that is what the electorate will be in this election, property owners. There's nothing that the Board of Elections is going to provide us as far as who can vote and who can't. We have to go back to the last certified assessment roll, which was July 1st of 2010, and we're self-sufficient in obtaining those and making the verification of the property owner, and each property owner gets one vote as indicated in the rules that we've promulgated and sent out. So there is a different process. There's certainly no problem with taking people off the list that the Board of Elections has provided us, but in any event, we're going to have a session Monday morning at 10 o'clock, where I am going to go through this procedure, where the desks are going to be located. The Board of Elections has made some suggestions as far as freedom of movement in the room, where the machines are going to be. They will have the technicians that administer the machines. People will come in, they'll go to their respective desk. A determination will be made through the use of the roll books that are going to be present at each table. Upon the conclusion of that, persons will be given a ballot, and they will go to the machine. At that point, the technicians that are provided by the Board of Elections will handle the aspect of taking the ballot and making sure it's properly inserted into the machine. Am I correct there, Brian?
The voter will be placing the ballot in the machine.
Okay, but there'll be a technician there
Yes.
the whole time?
That is correct.
You know, it's a fairly simple process, but just to make sure that the ballot is properly placed in the machine. And that will essentially be the process. I will be here throughout the entire day, from 8 to 8. We originally anticipated, I think in the resolution that we passed in October, we anticipated 6 poll workers. Because of the possible volume that we may have during peak periods, like first thing in the morning, like during the lunch hour, and maybe during the 5 or 6 o'clock hour after people get out from work. In the discussions I had with the Board of Elections, we felt it would be appropriate to have more setting stages, more tables. So we brought it up to 5. We intend to have 3 people at each table. There'll be two books that actually have to get examined. There'll be a sign-in sheet, and where people will indicate their address as well as their name. And then the books will be examined. The person will be given a ballot in order to accommodate breaks, lunches, possible people that may fall ill on the morning and not be able to show up for whatever reason. Anticipating 5 tables with 3 workers at each table, so that's 15 workers. We thought 19 or 20 would be an appropriate number.
Well, Joe, I appreciate you explaining that, but you, out of your own words, you said this is a more complex vote than a normal one.
Correct.
And so because of that, as a town board member, I'm very concerned. This is a vote for a tax district. So I want, personally, and I think everybody on this board should want, a more trained and qualified inspector who have had several trainings, who have been recertified, than a morning training Monday. So I'm making the motion that we put this list forward. It has all the phone numbers. There's 126 residents from Rotterdam that qualify to be the inspectors. I'm sure we can find 20. We already have 7, so we only have to find 13 more at 126. So instead of using this list, I'm asking that we approve all of these and take them off of this list. And I urge my fellow council members to do this.
Joe,
There's nothing confusing about this vote or what the people at the table have to do, like you said. He's going to train them, inform them what they have to do. We started on that list, and it was hard. hard to get people to come. A lot of people don't want to work 12 hours on that list. So we had to resort to people we knew that maybe would come and call different people. So, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to sit at that table. And if you have some problems with the names on that list, then I would say that. But other than that, would you say, Joe, that they have to have that much training to do this?
No, and it's entirely different type of training.
It's a different, regardless who's on that list.
Are
You
you
would,
certified?
excuse me, I'm talking. No matter who's on that list, you have to train them. Whether they come off of that list or not. It's an entirely different vote, isn't it?
It's a different type of training.
Correct. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Have the people on the Board of Elections list been called to check their availability? I asked if the people on the Board of Elections list were called to check on their availability.
Joe, we're all 126 people called.
I don't know, perhaps the
The
supervisor.
thing is you're calling them during the day, 90% of them are not home.
Is the answer
Several
no?
of them didn't want
Yes
to
or no
do it.
question?
Several of them couldn't do it. So that's why it was becoming a pretty big job to find 20 people that would do it.
Okay, I make a motion that we put this forward, and I personally, Councilwoman DeLeva, will call every one of these people to find the people we need, because we will have a certified, I will call them at night. I don't have to call them during the day, I'll call them at night. I have their addresses and their phone numbers. But I want to make a motion to put this list forward. There's 126 of our residents who are certified and more than trained to do it, whether it's a training in the morning, this is on a tax district, this represents our residents, and I want more qualified and more trained. Mr. Liccardi, I appreciate your response, but you are not an election commissioner, and I talked to both of the commissioners today. So can I please put this motion forward? I'm asking to put the motion forward.
Sure you can. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Liccardi, can you please do a legal
Farmer, what
statement?
you gotta do.
Certainly, absolutely. Just one note, you contact them and let them know if they're selected, you will limit it to 20, so we don't have 60 people
Absolutely.
showing up. And let them know to be here at 10 o'clock Monday for going through the actual mechanics of what we will be doing on Tuesday.
Absolutely. 10 o'clock Monday here in this.
10 o'clock Monday, right here in this room.
Okay, if this passes, I promise you I will call everyone on this list.
I don't recommend abolishing the current list. That should be kept as a contingency. Shouldn't, that current list, nothing should be done to that current list unless you can find those 13 people. If you can't get the 13 people,
Well, we got 7. You need how many more?
no, you can't cancel that current list
Yep.
with the assumption that you're gonna get people in less than a week. That current list needs to stay unless we can find the people to replace. That,
I would say the understanding is that Councilwoman DeLeva, because I see there's a lot of doubles here, you know, husband and wife. If she goes through the list, and for some strange quirk of fate, she can't get the number we need, that I have to assume that all these other ones have already been called and have committed. Everybody on this list here
That's
has
true.
been called and has committed.
I mean, 126 people, it sounds like a lot. I mean, you're talking less than a week.
Well, yeah, but it's usually, you can see there's a lot of husband and wives here, so there's a lot of doubles here, so you're not gonna make, I mean, I understand the concern here, and I wanna make sure that this